Hi, everybody. So I wanted to circle back to the unpacking the question. I think a lot of this is because I have been working on this fairs and festivals, professional reading series on the channel. And I think about when I sit down with somebody, and it doesn't matter if you're doing it in private or in public, but when you sit down with someone and they start telling you this whole scenario, this whole story, and you want to just say to them, what is it that you want to know? And you're thinking to yourself, what is it that you need to help them figure out? And that in lies, how do we unpack, the question? How do we find the question and everything? And one of the games that I used to like to play with people was when people get really, dramatic or they're, really emotional about something. I like to play the what's the worst that can happen game. And I don't know if you've ever played that before, but oh my gosh, I don't know if my husband's cheating. And it's like, well, what's the worst that could happen? Well, he could be cheating. It's like, okay, what's the worst that could happen there? Well, we could break up and I would be alone, or that would be what would be the worst would happen, right? And you get it all down to the point where it just seems so ridiculous that now you can stop and take a breath and figure out what is it that I really need to know, or what do I really need out of this reading? And sometimes the easiest way to do it is just to ask them, what is it that you need out of this reading? What is the, what would be the ultimate goal or the ultimate, thing that you want to take away today? And then maybe just kind of sometimes we just need to reverse engineer some of these things. So I found 4 questions and or four scenarios, I should say, that were just bare bones simple scenarios that we could play with today. And I wanted to start with one of them, the crossroads of career. And here's what it says. Sarah is a talented artist feeling stuck in her corporate job. She craves creative freedom, but worries about financial stability. Her dilemma, leaving the unknown safety net for an uncertain but fulfilling path of her passion. What are the best questions to help her find her way? So, yay.
Hey, can I ask something? Can you see me? Am I on video?
No, I can't see you.
No.
No, and I don't know why. I see I have a blank thing up here, but I have no idea why. But
I know, and we
anyway,
still love to see you, Anne Marie.
well, I would love to see me too, but I can't. So I'm
Lynn,
not sure what happened. I'm not sure what happened there. But it's not my doing. It was an accident anyway. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how to undo that unless any of you know. But anyway, okay, I beg your pardon. I interrupted you there.
Lynn, for that,
Yes.
if you want to help Anne Marie get on board, click on, since you're the host,
Yeah.
click open your or turn on your video, and maybe she can be prompted to open her video.
I have start video here. Would that be it down at the bottom left-hand corner?
Yes, that's what I do.
Good girl, D. What am I doing?
You're
Yep,
doing it.
start.
Oh, here you are.
Here I am.
There
In the
you go.
dark. I forgot to
Good
turn the
thing.
light on. I'll turn the light on.
Because I'm not a techie, so it would hurt.
Sweet.
So
Thank you, folks.
yay. So you're sitting down, you got somebody sitting in front of you, and it's like, gee, I mean, to me, it's just a strange question, do I quit my job, and do something I love and find myself on the street without food? I mean, it's to me, that's not the question, right? I mean, the
Right.
question is how, right?
Yeah, but the point is that's not your question, and it wouldn't be what my question would be.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that's not the question for the client, right? Like
Right.
what is on top for her? Maybe unbeknownst to us, she has, a rich uncle that she knows is leaving her a bazillion dollars, right? And the question is, or maybe not having food or shelter, whatever, or the things like me, like the first thing that would be in my mind is, my God, these are my peak earning years. This is where I'm going to build my pension credits. Right.
Right.
So I think that comes down to the question is eliciting from them what is on her terms. Is it a fear of financial security? Is it a fear of everybody going, you left that job for what? Is it, am I going to find out that I'm not as good an artist as I thought I was? Like, these are the
Yeah,
questions
hidden,
underneath that.
hidden challenges of that. You know, when you said that maybe she has a rich uncle that can take care of her, I think that begs the question of how are you going to support yourself? What are your options? What other options do you have? And that's what I mean by like unpacking. That's a great way to unpack, you know, and help put her in a position where she can start making some decisions. Like, what are her options? And that would be one of them, is like, you know, what options do you have to support yourself, you know, so you don't land on the street. But also, as you said, what are her long-term goals? Because if her long-term goal is to be able to retire someday, you know, maybe it's that delayed gratification, you know, and is she willing to do it now or later? But it's figuring out, well, what do you really want? You know, and I mean, what I really want at the end of the day is to do my to do my passion. You know, how can you do both? You know, how can you take care of both? And then start looking at those options. Anybody else come up with anything on this particular question?
Well, it's a good question, because number one, that is like the top question for anyone who's pursuing a creative career.
Mhm.
that has been in a corporate job. Okay. And I think a lot of us can kind of relate to that. I know I can. And so I think if someone came to me and asked me that question, I would say, well, my first question would be, where exactly do you see yourself right now? And that person would say, whatever they say. I hate my job. It's a dead end job. I can't, you know, and then the next question would be, can you pursue both your passion and the job that is keeping you, you know, keeping a roof over your head?
Right.
And then that, you know, however they answer that question. I mean, these are things that they need to look at, right? And then I think finally, you know, I think I would ask, you know, do you believe in yourself as far as having the ability to do your passion? Right now, you're doing something that is not your passion, and you're successful. So how do you see, you know, what do you think you can do, or how far do you think you can go with your passion? You can go far.
Right.
Because you're doing something you hate right now, and look at you. You've got a roof over your head, you got a brand new car, but you hate it.
Mhm.
So how about this? What about if you actually do something that you love and work hard at it, just as hard as you're working at the job that you hate? And you will be successful. You know, you will.
So how
You won't
about
start.
how about this as an unpacking question? Does she have the emotional strength to make that leap?
Well, that's what Tara would bring to her attention if she just threw that question out. I don't want to be here. And that's what when I did the cards, I didn't ask a question. I asked, what can you share with me about her dilemma? And it basically came up Pentacles and Five of Wands and the Devil. Meaning what? Money, Five of Wands, challenges. Maybe this is the right timing. And the Death card. Let go of what doesn't serve you. So let's start there. Now ask the question. Because that's what the cards threw at you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I approach.
Anne-Marie, do you have anything on that, or?
I thought I kept this fairly simple, because like your story, it would depend really on what age she was, and what was happening in her life, whether she had dependents. It depends on a lot of stuff. But just keeping the question simple, I would ask, what's truly important to me? What's the most important thing in my life? What's truly important? If I go to my heart, what's pulling me there? What's really strong there? And what's the greatest fear or block that you have and that you need to face or be aware of even? What's really stopping this, or what's causing it to be a dilemma?
Yes.
So what block is there, what you need to be aware of, and what would help you to overcome this block and to make the decision more easier, more straightforward. So I think it's about finding what's important to her first of all, and then putting those in perspective.
Right.
See, and I agree, and I think
Sorry.
that's where I don't care if you're in a short-term, reading arena, like at an event, or if you are sitting and have all the time in the world to spend with somebody, in a private reading. I think the first thing that you really need to do is start a conversation with them, and this is what I would tell an aspiring tarotist: start that conversation. What is it, if you were a friend, what is it that you would want to know, about her situation? Because sharing that information, will help make the cards and the messages from the cards make more sense when we pull them. So I think it's really helpful.
You'll be more open to the messages because something will have clicked in your brain at that stage, or something will have triggered it, and you'll be more open to seeing the messages that are coming. I think when you chat to people and see what the story is, puts them at ease as well.
Yes, I agree.
Do you not also think it's helpful to have that conversation with people? It's like, okay, so we pull the cards and say, does this card make sense to you in this position? Or in the realm of this particular question, so yeah.
See, I think this is the big, this struck me when I saw these questions, or when you called out the question. It struck me how important it is, how good the one-to-one reading is, where you're actually giving your time to the querent, where you're actually saying, look, this whole next half hour is yours, this whole hour is yours. Sit back and relax and tell me about yourself, about what's happening. And maybe we'll get to the question, maybe not now, maybe later, and we might circle back and find the first question is exactly what you needed to know, but to let her know this is her time. And that's what trumps, a quick read. Going to somebody, getting a good solid read where you feel you're being listened to, you're being heard, and it's your time.
Right. Yes, I always like to spend that, especially like I said, in the short-term arena. I really like to listen to the scenario that they're giving me, listen to what they're saying, and what are the questions I'm pulling out? What are my questions that I'm pulling out from that? Like, what would I want to know? And then turn them around and ask them, try to get them to, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to articulate a problem. It's hard to. Sometimes it's hard for us to do that. To articulate what it is we want to say to people, or want to tell somebody about our situation. And it just, as a solutions-oriented reader, it's trying to extract from their scenario, from all the minutia they're giving us, to say, okay, let's get a level above, and that's where that, what is it what is the goal here, and try to help them hone in on that issue. Let me move to a second question. And listen, I really, if we, as time permits, I'm hoping we're going to get to question number 4, because I'm really interested. I don't know, I just really related to that one. I don't want to do that one next, or if you want to just wait and see if we can get.
I don't mind.
Either way.
Okay,
I don't mind.
all right. Well, I want to read that because I really, I don't know. It made me. I kept thinking about it. John and Sarah are recently married with children from previous relationships. The teenagers struggle to adjust, forming rivalries and feeling displaced. The parents feel torn between keeping everyone happy and enforcing necessary boundaries. What could a tarot reading provide to help them find a way to live in harmony? I thought that's like, I mean, how many people have that issue, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, who would want to be in that situation? I certainly wouldn't. That'd be tough, But I started thinking of, and again, that's where you know, teenagers and drama, you know, they bring their own, you know, type of drama to a situation. And it's trying to, you know, I'm just wondering if we were to try to maybe have columns on each child, you know, to start, or even everybody in the family, and say, okay, what, you know, where are the underlying issues, you know, with those family members? Is there one in particular that's, I don't know, that's causing the, you know, the ruckus? I mean, can we identify, you know, maybe, you know, one particular person that might be instigating the turmoil, even if they don't realize that they are, because they have some kind of an issue that's, you know, that they're lashing out or something in order to get some help, you know, some attention. And I'm just wondering if that might be a place to start for a situation like this. What do you think?
It's heavy. It's heavy. Because, you know, I mean, that is an interesting question. And I don't know that, you know, that would be something that, I mean,
Well,
trying to
just
wrap my head around that, you know, would a family with issues like that come for a reading, or would it be one member of the family coming for the reading? Would it be
I
you
took
know,
it as, let's say, the mother, you know, comes, sits
Okay.
down, has a reading. Oh, babe, you know, I'm having these issues, all these issues, you know, my kids aren't getting, you know, our blended kids aren't getting along, and it's starting to, you know, my husband and I don't know what to do. And I think maybe trying to, having the cards help them figure out what the main issues are. And that maybe if we say, you know, we're seeing, and, you know, we pull a card, Dee, what kind of card would you pull for an issue off the top of your head?
Well, I
Page
broke
for
it up.
start.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I actually took this and made it 3 separate rows. I did the father, I did the mother, and I did the children.
Okay.
And asked the question, what do I need to know? Cards, tell me what the biggest thing is with this family. And are you ready? Are you all sitting down? I got the devil 3 times.
You are
In
so
each row. So what does that mean? They're all bogged down. The next card I got for the father was he's overburdened. 10 of Wands. The mother, I got Ace of Pentacles, which means maybe she's holding the dough or the money and they met at a company. I don't know. But the final thing that came to me with the children is they want to be part of the decision making. Throw everything out. They want to be part of the decision making, and that will basically take care of everybody having their 2 cents worth in. And the last card I got was Judgment. What? Revisit it. A do-over. The whole family needs a do-over. You can't go with your thing you used to do.
Yeah, this is where, you know, I like the idea of, breaking it down per child, or breaking it down per person in the family, and trying to figure out where the problem areas lie. And the fact that, you know, the kids don't feel like, you know, maybe there was resentments, you know, was there a resentment that somebody felt like, you know, their feelings, their fears and concerns about, you know, losing a parent to somebody else's affections, you know, where that affection from that parent's going to be taken off of them and put onto the new husband and the family. And, you know, the fear of that and the resentment of that, you know, could be causing, you know, a lot of the turmoil. And that's where I think breaking it down into, you know, the individual, you know, options, you know, where is this child coming from? Where is this parent coming from? You know, I think that's where tarot can, and the nice thing about it is you can lay it out and say, this is what the cards say. Can you relate to this? And when you draw that querent into that discussion, they're going to say, I know exactly what that means. Or I don't have any idea what that means. You know, so
I asked the question, describe the children. Describe what these children are. You know, I don't know what's going to come up. You know me, and I'm a clarifier queen again. I got the 9 of Pentacles. Well, they're all individuals. So they should be treated as that. Treated as, what are they good at? Maybe one washes dishes better than throwing it in the dishwasher. I don't know. But it was a start to pick at. Something to give back to the parent to say, well, do you treat them all as individual? And do I love this question? No, this is a sticky question. I think there's a lot of things that we don't know with that. How can we make things better? Oof. I don't think a bunch of cards are going to tell them how to make it better, but they should certainly show them things that they have missed. Because with the whole family like that, it's a family. Just, you can call them a family. That's huge. And let's just take care of it from there.
It gives them food for thought for the person who's coming to the querent.
Yes.
Because that person is stuck. That person cannot see, it's like the whole, I'm in it. I can't see what's happening. Whereas someone from outside, which tarot cards possibly could help them see what's happening. And maybe give them some clues as to how they can better, does that mean they have to go to therapy group, family therapy? Does that mean that they have to, it'll open up questions that they can maybe answer themselves.
Yes. Yes. Well, 3 devils made me want to ask the question, what the heck's going on here?
I looked at it a bit like Yvonne, I think. And I was thinking the first thing you need to do is, the parents are struggling. So you need to get them on the same page so that they feel they're supporting each other, that he doesn't think she's taking care of her children more than his. So to get them going together. So maybe ask, okay, what's working well in this situation? What's working well for us? Because you can eliminate that and get that off the way. And what impact is this having on our relationship? Do you think I'm favoring your children? What impact is this happening? How do you feel about the way we're handling it? And what's most important? What's the most important thing to both of us at this stage, given that we're having this turmoil and we all love the children, we want to work out what's the most important thing to us to tackle? I think the most important thing is for them to get connected, really. So that they feel supported. If the parents feel totally supported by each other for a start, they'll have the strength then to deal with the problems. They'll have more strength to deal with the problems that come from the children, because they'll feel a bit more support, I think. And another, what would a successful outcome look to like us? What would we be happy? What level of stuff would we be happy with? And what could we do differently? I think that was what I. Oh yes, one more thing. That then, having done that, having done the bit about the parents, then I would be inclined to draw 3 cards for each of the children, or a card for each of the children, and now see how the children, see what's the story with the children, what their individual strengths or weaknesses are. But first of all, I'd concentrate on the parents, get them as a solid unit, feeling supported, so that they don't feel that.
And also with maybe drawing, having that conversation, saying, what do you think are the main issues? And then you pull cards on them. So let's say you have 3, give me 3 main issues that you're having in this family, or 3 main problems. And then drawing 3 cards on each, of the issues to see
if
there is a path, or insight that would lead us to a path that they can start to take to, find their way out of that, or
maybe have a card then above the 3 cards, what to do and what not to do, the one underneath. So
what will help, what will hinder.
Exactly. That then at least you have some
5 cards.
5 cards up to 5.
I want to meet this family now. I want to meet this family. I want to help them.
Okay, guys, let's move on. I'm going to go back up to the heart of the matter. Okay, picture Alex. Where are you? Here we go. Oh, Ben. Okay, we're gonna go with Ben. Oh,
Ben, where's Ben?
keep hitting this by accident. How do I do that? There we go. Okay, Ben. Where are you? He's a writer with a deadline looming, but his mind is as barren as a desert. He's plagued by self-doubt and he fears his spark has fizzled out. What questions can we ask Tarot to help him find out why he's in this bad spot?
Called writer's block.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
certainly one that I can relate to.
Okay,
Okay.
let's hear what you have to say.
Go, Kate. Let's hear what you have to say.
Well, I think one of the first the question that I would translate this to is what is blocking you? Because this is it's not something physical, and he's got paper and whatever, computer, whatever. It is something that's internal, right? And often that is like can be fear, anger, like all the emotions, right? And those are issues that you're not prepared or ready to deal with. And so I actually have a tarot spread that I use as what is blocking me, right? And it's like a 5-card draw. And it's amazing how much when you start going, and it might look like gobbledygook to me as a reader, but I'm sure there's something in there that resonates and goes, oh, okay. It's the food for thought because right now what he's just looking at is the blank white wall. And that is intimidating as hell, right? And so being able to gently kind of loosen that up and so he can find a little place to get, a corner into and lift and start looking at what the unconscious is saying about this situation, I think, and then he'll take it from there completely.
Right.
Agreed.
Well, and because I like you, I come up with content. Sometimes I start on a storyline and it just doesn't, you can't, it's not panning out, I'm not seeing it. And sometimes it's just not the right storyline, or sometimes I'm not taking it in the right direction. So sometimes we can help people or help him in this case. I would help him by, maybe kind of delving into that storyline and saying where, does he just have, is it a blank wall, or has he taken a wrong turn? What if, and I, get into a bunch of what if scenarios. What if what if you pursued a different path or whatever? So I'm just thinking that, there's something that's blocking him, and what is it? I mean, is he concerned about the deadline? Is he concerned about the time? Does he, is it, does he not feel like he's good enough, or is he worried about being judged on this particular storyline with this particular editor? There's a lot of, it's getting to the crux of, what is the problem right now? What is the problem right now? And then how can we, what can we do to unblock you moving forward? What does Tarot have to say about that?
Yeah. And
What
once he's come up with those where these largely irrational things are living, right? And they're now up in the open, he can figure out, I'm afraid of my editor's judgment. I'm afraid of whatever, or I'm concerned about this or that. Now he can look at it with the rational mind. But before, it was just holding him hostage.
Right. And the fact that this person would be seeking help from a tarot reader means that person is just like beside themselves. And what do I need to do? Yeah, well, and yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, when was the last time you gave yourself a break?
Yeah, exactly.
When did you, maybe it's that simple that you're just so wrapped up in this that you can't progress. So maybe coming to the tarot reader was a really good thing, so
I
we can
think
tell you that you need to relax.
I think of tarot reading much like therapy in a way. It's like we're like these
Yeah, exactly.
where sometimes it's just somebody can shake loose or say something or ask a question that you didn't think to ask yourself,
Exactly.
and it opens up that gate. So listen, I just got a 10-minute notification. I just wanted to, and thank you for participating in this today. This is great. You know, I know we have a lot of Vince Patici followers
Oh, yes,
that
yeah.
that watch on here, and I just wanted to let you. I wanted to make sure that anybody watching this podcast knows that there is a Facebook page called Conceptual Blending and Tarot. And Yvonne, you're one of the administrators,
I
and
am.
our Vince meetings. For those of you that are looking for Vince, he's kind of disappeared right now, and we are holding this. We're still having these discussions like we are right now over there. So go find it and look for the Zoom meeting because it will be there. And I
Yeah,
know that's what you're working on, Yvonne.
right. You know, yeah, it's just it's a platform for people to come and hang out. We talk tarot, we exchange tips, we share experiences. And if you're new at this, you can probably pick up some good tips. If you're
Right.
an expert and you're, you know, seasoned, well, you can share it
Versus the
with us.
tips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give us some tips. Come on.
Kate, you got anything exciting going on? Kate, anything exciting?
Just continuing writing, and of course, we're gearing up with the heavy political season in the U.S., so it's going to be just pacing myself through that. And but I've got to find some other things to kind of keep me occupied as well for my own sanity. So
Well,
that's what I'm doing.
we're
Come
watching
join
you
us.
at Kate Tarot Cafe. We're watching you. Dee, you're done for the season, right? For doing any shows or anything? You're kind of done for the.
Yes. Yes, I'm weathering the wind chill of 25 below.
Oh my God. Yeah, in
Wow.
Minneapolis.
Yep.
I'm as far south in Texas as you can get, and it was 29 degrees this morning. I mean,
Oh,
it was
my
amazing.
goodness.
I had three grapefruits left on my ruby red grapefruit tree, and I pulled them all yesterday because I didn't want to lose them. But I worry about all my, my rest of my fruit trees. I hope they make it. Um, Anne Marie across the pond. What's
Well,
you anything?
our weather has changed today. All this week we're going to have freezing weather. So there's nothing, only ice outside. So I'm not moving anywhere. So I haven't. So we've been
Everybody.
doing.
Good move.
So
Yeah.
this is, I'm going to stay put. I'm going to catch up on all my bits and pieces. I'm going to file my stuff properly so that I can actually find what I'm looking for. I write down all these hints and tips and great ideas, and then where are they? So I'm going to spend this week coming is going to be here in this little officey place, sorting things out, and then I'll think of what's happening.
Well, I will say, I will say this, that I've been working on my channel. I'm finishing up the fairs and festivals here pretty soon. Going to be doing some going to be doing some interviews at the end of it. It's going to be kind of fun to get everything, like, what are other people doing at fairs and festivals? What are they, what are their tips and tricks and recommendations? I've also been working on the channel, and anyone who's watching this, if you enjoy these, please like it and preferably subscribe, but liking it's very important because that's how other people find us. And we love doing these, and we're going to carry on discussions over on conceptual blending and tarot over on Facebook as well. And hey, everybody, have a great month, and I'll see you in February now, right?
Yeah, stay warm.
All right,
Stay
everybody
warm.
stay warm.
Right.
We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.